Hello guys, my name is Otavio and this is the Galilean Library, and today I'm going to be doing my December wrap-up and January TBR. And I've read a total of 6 3/4 of a book in December, and I'm going to show those to you guys now. Let me explain that a little bit. I'm saying 3/4 because I finished 3/4 of a book before the year was over, and then I finished the rest right in the first 2 days of the new year. So I'm gonna count that book in my December wrap-up, though I didn't really finish it in December. Anyway, so I've read Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut, and I mean, I talked about this in another video as well. So I gave this book 2 stars, and after thinking more about it, because I was really bored while reading this, I don't know, I was completely bored and I was just not in the mood for it, I guess. And that's the thing, after thinking about it, I think it was much more my fault because I wasn't in the mood for reading this book than it was the author's fault or the story's fault. So I don't know, I might give this a try again sometime in the future, not anytime soon, and I'll make sure that I'm not forcing myself to read it, because I think that's a big reason why I didn't like this so much, because it was sort of forcing myself as if it was required reading, and it really wasn't. And just goes to show, guys, read what you want to read, don't force yourself to read something just because it was in your TBR. So yeah, I'll definitely try this again, but I'll give myself some time to forget it as much as I can before I jump into this again. So, next book I read was actually a reread, and is Among Others by Joe Walton, and this, I actually didn't read this copy, I listened to the Audible version, and it didn't really hold that well in a reread for me. I mean, it was interesting and I really liked the narration. I thought it really gave a good insight into the characters' mind and their personalities, and it was good. I liked the narration, and I liked the fact that I listened to it this time around and not just read it. It was a good change of pace. But I don't know, maybe because when I read it the first time I liked the ending so much, I think I had glorified it at the ending and kind of put it in a pedestal and thought that I liked the book more than I did just because of the ending. And since now I knew what the ending was, and it's not a big twist or anything, but it's a very fulfilling ending, I think, in my opinion. And now that I knew what the ending was, I think I wasn't so engrossed with the rest of the story, and it wasn't as great as I thought it was from my first reread. And I really didn't force myself to read this one like the other one, but still, I mean, I liked it, just not as much as I did the first time I read it. And the second book I have here is Bird Box by Josh Malerman. Oh, by the way, I gave 2 stars to Kurt Vonnegut, as I said before, and 3 stars to my reread of Among Others. There you go. So, Bird Box, I gave 3.5 stars, and I enjoyed this. It's very scary. Basically, the premise is there's something outside, and if you look at it, you go mad and kill anyone around you, and then you kill yourself. And that's the premise around the book, and it's a post-apocalyptic book, and focuses around that particular thing that's happening. And it's very scary, especially because I think what's unseen is so much more scary than what's right in your face, at least for me, and that really did pull my strings. I did not like the ending though, but the journey was thoroughly enjoyable, and I don't know, I really recommend this one for anyone who likes horror and to be scared. Great book for Halloween next year, if you guys are already looking for that. And also I finished the Elenium series by David Eddings, and there's 3 books in the series, The Diamond Throne, The Ruby Knight, and Sapphire Rose. And I read almost the entire series in December as a part of the BookTube Reading Buddies challenge for December, which was finish a series, and I started in almost finished this series in December. I didn't finish Sapphire Rose on time though, unfortunately. I finished the last, I think, 150 pages of it in January in the first 2 days, but I'm counting it in my December wrap-up, so it's not like lingering in limbo. And I really enjoyed this series. I was gonna do a review of it, but I'm running short on time. I'm going to Brazil on this Thursday, so I'm probably not gonna have much time to film a review for this. But suffice it to say, great series, very enjoyable. The pacing is fantastic. I had some reservations with the ending in the third book though. It was very interesting, but it didn't end. Like, when it was supposed to end, it didn't end, and then there was more, and I think we could have just done without the like last 50 or 60 pages of the book, which was basically like, what's happening now? Like, that the story is over, what's happening with the characters. And while it was interesting, I don't know, I just felt it was a break in the pace that was so good up to that point for the most part, but still good series. I loved it. I gave 4 stars to each one of those, and I think my favorite is the second book, The Ruby Knight. It's very interesting, and there are some twists. Even though most of the twists in the series you can see coming from a mile away, you're still excited about them, and I don't know, just great series all around. I really recommend. Now for my January TBR. So I'll have 4 books that I'm going to read in January, or at least that I'm planning to read in January, and I'm trying to be conservative with my choices in terms of the amount of things that I'm going to read. First of all, because I didn't complete my TBR for the month of December. I didn't read some of the books that I had on my TBR, and I changed them to other books, so I do want to be very considerate of that, so I don't overcharge myself with reading. And also, I'm going to Brazil, like I said, so I'm not going to have much time to read, though I will have some time, and I'll get to those books whenever I can. So the first one is A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin, and this is a reread for me as well. I love this series, and recently I realized that I was watching the TV show past the point where I stopped in the books, which was after the second book, so I want to go back to the books and read them before I catch up on the TV show. And I've already started this, and it's been amazing. As always, I love this series. I love George R.R. Martin, and his writing style is just absolutely fantastic. And for a rereader, I think this is really good because you can see hints of bigger things that are coming in the series right in the first 100 pages in this book. So that goes to show how much he planned it, how much this series is very masterfully executed. So looking forward to finishing this one and starting the next one pretty soon. Next book I'm going to read in January is The Cherry Orchard by Anton Chekhov, and this is a play. It's about a family losing their status in Russia, I think turn of the century Russia. And I've seen another play by Chekhov here in New York performed at the Public Theater. I think it was Seagull, and I really loved it, and I wanted to read this other one that seems also very interesting. It's short, and it's a play, so it's even shorter than it looks. So this should be a quick read if it's not too dense or intense. We'll see. Also, I'm gonna read The Moon is a Harsh Mistress by Robert A. Heinlein, and this is a read-along with Bree from Stories from the Shelf. I'm gonna link her channel down below. She's fantastic, you guys should check her out. And we decided on reading this book after my Strand book haul, and because neither of us had read any Heinlein before, so we decided to start with this one this month. And we're starting on the 12th, and I'm really excited for this. It's probably the book that I'm most excited about this month. And I'm also gonna read Cinder by Marissa Meyer. This is a YA science fiction fairy tale retelling, and I've heard really great things about this book. YA is not really my favorite genre, but I do read it sometimes, and sometimes I do find some really great gems, and I'm hoping this is going to be one of those. We'll see how this goes. I'm probably going to read it in the plane because it seems, I might be wrong, but it seems like a lighter reading, so I should probably get to read this in one sitting while going to Brazil on the trip on my way there. So we'll see how this goes as well. And well, so that's it for my TBR and my wrap up. Thanks guys for watching as always, and if you like this, click the like button, and if you want to see more, click subscribe and leave your comments down below so we can chat about all of the books that I've talked about today. Ciao!